know why someone's afraid of rejection? They're afraid of rejection, which I used to be, by the way. And when someone says I have no fear of rejection, it's just not true. Everyone has fear, me included, always. But here's the thing. I'm aware of it. I am not fearful. I'm aware that I have fear. Wayne Dyer said something incredible, and I want you to internalize this, and I want your subconscious to remember this as your day goes on, and you might have a challenge, or you might have some negative emotions come up. You might feel frustrated. You might feel stressed. I want you to remember this. Be careful of what you put after the words I am. So here's what most humans do, and that's why they struggle in life, not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, how you physically, how you feel, confidence, influencing your children, like changing your family's life, dealing with difficult relationships, all this stuff. So they say, I am, and then it's always the negative, what they don't want. I am terrible. I am useless. I am stuck. I am angry. I am not good enough. I failed in the past. I wished I'd done this. I could have done this. I am whatever, right? But that is a symptom of a core belief in your subconscious mind, which believes, like we had a great point there, you're not worthy. Okay? Because in the past, you were told you're not worthy. You wanted to do something, you wanted to change your life, you wanted to do something, and someone told you you couldn't do it and you felt unworthy. Might have been a parent. I remember a school teacher said to me, Miss McDonald, said to me, Tom, you don't have good grades. You're never going to amount to anything. If you don't change your grades, you're never going to amount to anything. That's what she told me. And stuck with me. And I think all of these negative beliefs made me suicidal, made me feel like I've got no compelling future. Because take away a human being's future, then you think there's no point. So you go back to comfort, you go back to normality, you go back to doing what you've always done, because even though you hate it, it feels comfortable. And then you're chasing addictions. You're chasing quick dopamine rushes, social media, alcoholism, drugs, gossiping, negative talk, going on a new webinar to get a new high of maybe I'm going to succeed. But you know deep down, if you just focus on this, which is focus, follow one course until successful. If you just focus on it, you know you're going to get results because you've seen others, you know you can do it, but you're looking for a quick win because you're uncomfortable of dealing with emotions. You're afraid of dealing with your negative emotions because it reminds you of someone told you in the past. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you've made. Even people come to me, my multimillionaire clients, they still struggle with what people think. They have a load of money in their bank. They never spend it. They're still poor. So you got to fix it now so you can enjoy your life. You're abundant and you're not a Scrooge and you're saving on to everything where the worst thing in the world is you've got a ton of money, but you feel absolutely broke. Okay, that's the worst thing, and that's most people in life. But most people are afraid of failure. They're afraid of other people's opinions. But they're also afraid of their own opinion, their negative self-talk. They're afraid of, oh my God, if I try this and fail, I'm going to feel a horrible emotion and I'm going to feel like a failure. I am a failure. How about you frame it like this? I am infinite potential. I have infinite possibilities because you do. I can achieve anything I want, or I am going through a challenge. I'm going through a challenge, but I'm going to overcome it and it's going to make me stronger. Why don't you train your mind that way? Why don't you focus on training your mind to think like that? Because what you're going to do is when you train your mind with what you think, and how do you know what you think? If you're always gossiping about the past, most people basically continuously have the same thoughts over and over again, and they keep drilling down their limiting thoughts. They don't have any new thoughts. And what happens is you form a belief, and then that forms an identity. And that's the scary thing when you say, I am old. Yeah, you might be an older person, but that doesn't mean you can't still succeed. You might be a younger person, which I thought I was too young, but that doesn't mean you can't succeed. The only person telling you you can't succeed is you. You might have other people around you, but don't worry. Don't worry, that's not them talking. That's just human conditioning. That's why I know all of your, I can literally tell all of your fears and doubts. You want me to list them out? I can list them all out for you right now, and you'll be like, how the heck does he know what I'm thinking? Because I've had all of them. I know that there's a human mind, which is called human doubt. And doubt is not just your doubt. There is something called doubt. And it feeds in. Remember the Matrix? There's their overarching kind of like control. And then it links in to everyone's brain. And that's human doubt. People have doubts like this. I'm not techie enough. I thought I could do this. They have things I thought this was easier. I don't think I can do this. What does that mean? Basically, you've got something tricking you, telling you that you can't do it because you're not good enough. That's the underlying mechanism there. Another one is I need to get results really, really, really quickly. Yes, you want to get results quickly, but here's how you get results. How do you get results? You take action consistently. Most people don't say, I'm going to take action consistently and I know I will get results. It comes from a frame of desperation. I need to get the girl now. I need to get married right now. I need to get married right now. I need to get married right now. You go on 2 dates. Can we marry now? I really need to get married. Can we? Well, she's going to run a freaking mile unless she's mentally ill. She's going to run a mile, isn't she? Why? Because success hates desperation. It despises desperation, and it runs a mile because there's something called the law of attraction. You attract whatever you are. You don't attract what you want. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Let me know your thoughts on that. And who's had those thoughts? You've had those thoughts, right? Here's another thought. I've been doing this so long and I'm not getting results. So you're really excited in the moment for 3-4 weeks and then you lose excitement. That's normal, by the way, because what happens is the conscious mind is running on willpower. And it doesn't matter how mentally strong you are, if you don't believe it and don't work on your belief systems, it will never happen. Here's a quick little action for you. Take more action than you think. I don't think a lot. I really don't. When I'm planning, that's not thinking. I'm planning. When you eat food, you don't have to think about food, do you? But when you're not eating food, you keep thinking about it a load of times because you're not doing it. If you're making love with your other half, you don't think about it because you're doing it. But when you're not doing it, you're thinking about it. It's not reality. You're thinking about, I've got to generate the lead. I've got to make an offer. Well, when you're doing it, you don't think about it. It's when you're not doing it, you think about it. So minimize your thinking and up your action. Because what will happen is when we do shoot first, aim later. What does that mean? Shoot first, aim later. That means we learn by doing. There's no human being. You know this in your job. You already know this already. Whatever you've done, the only way you did it is you had a framework. You got introduced to something, which is an overview of how something works. And you go, oh, that makes sense. That I understand that. But then when you did it, that's how you learned. You see, the reason why people feel overwhelmed and anxious is because they're allowing their mind to project the fear of something happening or not happening, or they're scared of rejection, they're scared of trying things and getting rejected, or they're scared of being found out and exposed. There was an amazing point there. Let me have a little, who said that? Embarrassment. Yeah, Donna, you said about, Kenneth said embarrassment. Donna said you feel exposed. Yeah. What happens is when people feel exposed, what do we mean by that? Well, let's actually break this down. When someone has a fear of being rejected, they go, really, the deep-rooted fear is I'm not loved. That's basically what it means. I'm not loved. But when you love yourself, when you appreciate yourself, when you work on your own mindset, you don't need the validation of others. You appreciate it. You appreciate it. Of course, we're all human and we appreciate having loved ones and being supported. But most people won't support you. They won't, because they don't, do they? Most people don't. Why? Because they're infected with doubt and cancer, which is a metaphor for doubt. They just are. And if they're not on this call, or they don't listen to people like me, or they don't listen to their own intuition, or actually face their fears, then what happens is that becomes their life. And the older they get, the more they believe it. And the more rooted it is in their subconscious, and they haven't changed their subconscious, they have not exposed themselves to new information. They've not exposed themselves to a new way of doing things. So they live in the past. And that's why you feel like your future is boring. Because how do most people set a future? Based on the past. This is what I've always done. This is what I've always learned. This is what I've always seen. Well, the way we change our mindset is by changing our environment and changing our actions and doing it rapidly and consistently and making a habit. Otherwise, what will happen is, yeah, you might quit, you might procrastinate, you might put things off, and you might feel you comfortable in the moment. And you will feel comfortable in the moment. Give it a week, give it a month, 90 days, 6 months. You will be so low self-esteem, so doubtful, so anxious, so down on a subconscious level, and you won't even know why you feel stressed, frustrated, and just almost like lonely and isolated and doubting yourself and feeling stuck and in a spiral. Because every action has a reaction. There's something in life called first order consequences, which you do something and nothing really happens. But then there's what's called second, third, fourth, and fifth order consequences. This is when you do something and that has an effect. And then it has another effect. You quit. What happens is the second order consequence is when you want to try something new, you have massive doubt now, even more doubt than you had before. Third order consequence is you don't feel very good about yourself. Fourth order consequence is all of your loved ones that you want to change their life, who wants to change their loved one's life, now look at you, and it reinforces their behavior to quit things when they get difficult. And then the whole family is exactly like they were before, and even worse, because they're even more fueled with doubt. And then what happens then is people usually have a midlife crisis. Guys, midlife crisis is not made up. This isn't just randomly happen. Oh, you hit 50 and you have or whenever it is for you, you have a midlife crisis. No, this is a buildup of fear over time. So again, what I like to do, number one, I'm going to leave you with this and wish you a great day today. And I'll see you tomorrow on our Q&A call. I'm going to be focusing on making offers and working with buyers. So I'll see you tomorrow on that call, working with our buyers. And basically, the easiest way to do a deal is finding basically someone that has a deal or matching it with a buyer. I'm going to be talking about co-sourcing tomorrow. Very powerful training. We've got a ton of clients crushing it with co-sourcing, which is work with our buyer or get a buyer, find someone that has a deal for that buyer and match it and do a 2 or 3-way fee. Fantastic way to get your first or second deal. Really good way. It's very simple. So I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow, but it means nothing if you don't have psychological belief and energy to go at it. And a lot of you guys do. Look, a lot of you guys are doing so great. You're doing well, but you need to start taking more action rather than thinking. Okay. You need to stop being so afraid all the time. Most people are so afraid of what if this happens? Well, how do we guarantee failure? By doing nothing or quitting. That's how you guarantee failure. Because most people go from here to here. They're just about to break through. They're just about to break through. The greatest temptation to quit is when you're about to break through, because part of your brain hates change. The subconscious mind despises change. It hates it. And it will not make you successful. It's an enemy to success because it hates change. Because the human brain, just like when you have an animal, I take my cats to the vets. They hate having to go to the vets. Why? Because they don't usually do it. They like routine, right? If you have animals, dogs, cats, and so on, they hate change because it's in the subconscious brain. But the only way we change our life is we change. Does that make sense? So when you want to take action and you have a negative emotion come up, don't think you're broken. Don't say I'm broken, I'm useless, I'm not good enough, I'm not techy. Don't tell yourself that. Because if you create an identity, you'll never try. Oh, I'm not very good at tech. Okay, have you ever tried it? Have you ever understood it, learned it, and tried it? No. So how the heck are you going to be good at something then? You have to learn and try. Okay. And the good thing about technology now, you don't need to be good. If you can press buttons and focus for 15 minutes and watch a framework, a video, you don't need to be good. So guys, you're going to do great. And a lot of you guys are doing great But some of you are allowing other people to reinforce your belief. You keep yapping with people that are not successful. Who are these people, guys, you're listening to? Like, who are they? Who, like, in terms of financially, are they absolutely crushing it? You might love them. I'm not gonna listen to my family about financial advice because I'm gonna end up like them. I'm not gonna listen to my own doubt if I'm not very successful. I'm gonna ignore it at all costs. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on, I'm gonna drop my ego to a side, okay? And I'm gonna listen to people that are where I wanna be, okay? Because I'll leave you with this. Here's what's scary about life. You know, I'm sitting on a table here, right? You have legs and a foundation here. The scary thing is whatever you believe is true. Whatever you believe is true for you. It's not reality, it's delusion, but you believe it. And it's true. The question I'd ask you is your belief serving you for an abundant, fantastic life in this one existence that we live in, this beautiful earth here? One existence. Does it serve you and empower you to live a great life? Or does it make you feel shit? Yeah, you might lie to yourself and justify it and be a victim. But does it serve you? Because if it doesn't serve you, maybe you should question your beliefs and reprogram, plant new seeds, water that seed of beliefs that actually help you get rich financially, rich in confidence, rich in discipline, rich in consistency, rich in saying you're going to do something and doing it. How does imposter syndrome exist? And none of us are perfect, by the way, guys. I'm not saying you to be a robot, for crying out loud. We all make mistakes. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not on about being a saint here, okay? I'm on about just take action on the things you said you would do. And when you don't do it, learn from it, journal, get back on the horse and take action. And don't quit. And trust me, the biggest win you ever get, making a lot of money is brilliant. It's lovely. It's cool, but eventually it's just money. You get used to it. Like you have at your job. Remember, you went from a paper round to then the job. You probably 10 extra income. But when you 10 extra income soon, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. And you should do it. But the greatest thing is the asset you are, which is you. You know, I've lost everything before. I was an asset, I got it back. Because I was an asset, not a liability. I had worked on myself. I remember my mentor, Preston, told me about the people he learned from. One of his mentors taught him about real estate. He was making a couple of million a year in Tampa, Florida. Was not into personal development. Said, that's stupid. I don't need motivation. I don't need inspiration. I don't need all this mindset crap. Okay. Well, he luckily got successful with strategies. And when the 2008 recession hit, he didn't work on his personal development. Guess what? He never came back up. He never recovered. A little bit he did, but he never got back to where he was. Why? Because he didn't focus on his personal development. His personal development friends lost it all, got it back. You would never know they even lost it. You would never know they even lost it. Lottery winners make a load of money, get rid of the money. 90% of them go bankrupt. They lose all their money because they haven't become the person to keep the money, invest the money, and multiply the money. 10% of people are good little boys and girls. They put it in the bank for a rainy day. Problem is, you got all this money in the bank. You log into your bank and you have all these digits on the screen. You look and see all these digits. You look at all the digits. The problem is, my friends, the problem is this. You feel absolutely poor because you're terrified of spending that money because you don't feel like you're an asset. You see, I create money. You create money. You said that I'm the person that creates the money because you are. You're an asset, not a liability. Guys, you're awesome. Keep going. If you got any property questions, go in the community and bullet list them one by one. Don't ask 50 questions on separate posts. Think about it, write it down, and bullet list them. and a team will get back to you to support you. If you're in the academy, obviously you know what to do. But here's the thing. Thursday, tomorrow, we're going to have an awesome training. And guys, you're doing so well. Remember, some of my top clients, I had a call with one of my top clients the other day. He said, Tom, I joined your training. I learned, I stopped, I quit for 7 months and did nothing. I dabbled, but I fixed my mindset. In 2 months, I made 20K. It's the most common story I hear. Why wait? Guys, thanks. Appreciate it. This will be uploaded and shared in the community either later today or tomorrow. Thanks so much. God bless you. Yeah.